We're officially live on YouTube for the Thursday edition of the Not Your Average Investor Show, the JWB Rental Week. I'm your host, Pablo Gonzalez. With me, as always, my main man, GC.
You know it.
And I call him that because he's got genius concepts, knows how to generate cash flows, is a great co-host, and because Big Papa called him Gregg Cohen. Say hello, GC.
Hello, everybody. Great to be with you.
And with us, as always, we call her MTM because she brings us the moments that matter. And because around here, she's known as Madison, the Magnificent. Say hello, Madison.
Hi, everybody.
And if you're joining us and you don't see the stupid hat I'm wearing, you're probably on a podcast, or maybe you do see it and you're on YouTube, and maybe you're live here with us now, and maybe it's your first time. And you should know two things. One, I don't always dress like this. And two, if you want to catch up to the knowledge of the group, right? Like if you want to just be here, not wonder about all the high level concepts that we talk about, you can ask questions in there, but even better, you can go to NYAIclass.com. GC and I just finished putting together the Not Your Average Investor's Guide to Rental Property Investing. It's going to get you familiarized with this asset class, the buying criteria that you need to know, the questions you need to ask, no matter who else you are dealing with out there in the market, so they don't hoodwink you. And it's $9.97, but until June 21st, it's faux frizzle.
Faux frizzle.
As long as you type in the promo code at checkout, you click on the promo code thing and you put NYAI guide free. It's only for really intelligent people. You got to be able to remember.
It's hard to put the promo code. If you can figure that out, you're nailed.
NYAI, like not your average investor, guide free. And you'll get it for free for at least until June 21st. It's a good time, man. It's a little bit under 2 hours of education. It's got quizzes. It's got notes. It's got jokes. It's got Karate Kid analogies, all the things that you want, but you're going to leave as a savvy investor. And then you get to just tune in here and dial into the community and be part of the special things like what, GC?
The roll call, baby.
The MVP in the house.
Oh, Mr. Lee Bishop, of course.
Bishop, check it in, say hello. We got a leadoff hitter hitting second.
John Henning.
We got Marilyn Cotterman from Homosassa, Florida.
Home of the manatees.
Home of the manatees is where you swim with the manatees. We got Big Earn Opperly in there.
Big Earn.
Saying hi. Good to see you, Big Earn. We got Nadeem Shah saying with his trademark good morning, good afternoon from the West Coast. Hope everybody's doing well. We got the early bird in the house.
Mr. Dean Curry.
Mr. Dean Curry. We got Leo Faraganan. Faraganan. All right, Leo, good to have you from the Bay Area. We got the ringmaster in the house,
Andrew Barnhill,
and we got Big Papa. We love it when he calls in Big Papa.
Pops, how are you?
That is Gregg's dad, Jay Cohen. Throw your hands in the air if you're a true player. We got our regulars in the house, the second family of the Not Your Average Investor Show, Gary and Rosalind Ridey from Murrieta, California.
We salute you.
Saying nice hat, Pablo. Thank you. I accept your compliment. We got our favorite name to pronounce, Aaron O'Neill.
Into the lights.
Good to have you here, Aaron, as well. We got the first family, the patriarch and matriarch, Ken and Carolyn Moline from Los Santos, California.
We salute you.
We got Marie Rockoff is back. She likes the hat too. Thank you, Marie. All the way from Arizona. Good to have you in here. We got Sarum from New Jersey.
All right. New name.
Yeah.
And Saren put in their name. Well, they didn't change Saren. Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for announcing yourself. I was going to think that they also changed Not Your Average Guest to be them, but
No.
they didn't get that part.
Correct. But
Okay.
you check in from your cell phone. If you hit the click in from your cell phone, you don't have your name up there. It just says Not Your Average Guest. So all you got to do is tell us your name and we know your name and you're in as part of the community. We got Amy Matthews, late night party, Amy Matthews.
Witness number 2.
Witness number 2. Amy, good to have you in the house as well as always. We got Right Along Raj in the house.
Love it.
Good to have you, Raj. Who else? We got people. We got people checking in. We got Amir Yunan, class coded. Amir, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the party.
To the show. New
Happy
name,
to
right?
have you here.
Yeah. And we got the fairy godmother in the house.
None other than Miss Jen Filson.
None other, the fairy godmother of our community, Jen Filson. Good to have you. GC,
Yes,
you know
sir.
what? Once we finish the roll call, you know what my favorite moment of the week
What is your favorite?
So Madison shares good news. What's the good news, Madison?
All right, everybody. So I haven't shared this news in a while, so I figured it'd be something really cool to share with you. Our team, we know we love the data flywheel. We love tracking all of the fun things for you guys to realize how much of a great asset class this is for you. So our accounting team sends out an email after every month to let us know how much we've paid out to our clients of rental income. And of the a little over 1,400 clients we have, they have earned $4,576,789 in rental income just in the month of May.
Wow. I'm writing all that down. Was that 4,500,000 and change in rental income?
Yep.
And what that is that's all the rental income that we collect for the 5,000 properties that we manage. And now I bet that's actually just our turnkey clients, actually. So that's probably 3,000 properties out of those 5,000. And then that's all passive income that's delivered right to our clients right there. That is just absolutely, and that's just 1 month.
Yep, that's only May.
That is incredible. That is fantastic. I remember we started sending those emails out when we got to about the $1 million per month threshold. And that was many, many years ago. And we collectively were like, oh my goodness, look at all this good stuff that we're doing for people in the world here. Like, this is solid, dependable income that's going out to clients in the world here. And it's been fun to see that number grow. So we're getting close to 5 million now.
It's really cool to see it progressively grow a little each month too. So
absolutely.
And that's growing each month, one, because y'all acquire new clients and stuff like that, but it's also just rent is going up, right?
100%.
So people, like, the same exact assets continue to go up. It's like a flywheel effect of, you get more clients, you're serving more people, you're at 5,000 properties that you manage. And on top of that, all of those rents continue to go up. So that number is going to continue to go up, and it's kind of exponential in that way, right?
Beautiful thing. That's why we talk about, there's so many benefits to the 5 profit centers that we have for rental property investing, but it's not all about cash flow today, right? It's cash flow when you need it. It grows over time. So as rents have gone up 10% last year, roughly, and call it, I think it was a little bit lower than 10% the year before, those rent numbers continue to go up. It provides more income for those, and your most important and your most costly expenses stay the same, right? Your mortgage payments stay the same. So yes, more cash flow, more money that we get to send out on a monthly basis.
More money, more money, more money.
More money, more problems. Big Papa knows about that.
Big Papa knows about that. You know what I call more money?
What's that?
I call it good news. Thank you, Madison.
of course.
All right, let's kick it off here to the POT dubs then. But first of all, GC, I heard you got some breaking news.
I do have breaking news, but I'm jumping more on that good news train.
Okay.
All right. It's going to be just all good news all day today.
That's nice, because sometimes your breaking news kind of breaks my spirit.
Well, I've realized that, and I'm trying to be more positive. Well, let's talk about something else that's a really cool accomplishment for our team. So, the best places to work in Florida award is, out of the awards that we've been blessed to win, this is what we go for, right? Like, this award encapsulates so much about what's important to our team, right? We want to have a world-class culture. We want to be a best places to work for company. And what I've also realized is, for clients that are a good fit for JWB, it's the award that attracts them to know that we're the right team for them to work with as well. They want to work. They want to have their money managed by a company that is a best place to work. And so I wanted to share with you all that JWB won the award for the best companies to work for in Florida for the year 2023. This was awarded by Florida Trend Magazine. We are now a 9-time award winner of best places to work in either the local market or the state of Florida here. So back from 2012 all the way through 2014 to 2019, 2022, and 2023. And I got to tell you, these awards are hard to win.
Yeah.
So the fact that our team together is able to enjoy this wonderful award, being a 9-time award winner for best places to work, it is just the absolute epitome of what we're trying to do here at JWB.
Interesting timing that you just got that award, when for the first time ever last week on the Property of the Week, we had a guest investor,
Right.
Sachi. And he actually said, for the first time, it was brought up on the show as a reason to do business here, right? Like, he was in New York. He's a police officer in New York, looking around for investing in places. He fell in love with the Jacksonville market. And then he was like, oh man, there's a company down there that does this stuff, and they win best places to work awards. Must mean that it's good to be a client for them, right? Like, connecting those dots. I couldn't believe in anything more than that, right? Like, I really believe that you invest in your product, and you invest in your people, and you invest in your clients, right? Like,
100%.
and that to me is the golden triangle of a company that is great to work with, great to work for, and great to own, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I love doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And, I think when we talk about how important the team is in any investment you make, the team is so important. But I think everybody talks about how their team is the best. So how do you, as an investor, know that this company that I'm thinking about doing business with really is a best team to work with when everybody says they're the best? Well, this award is one way to do that. So if you're an investor out there, or you're just a regular customer and you want to do business with the best team out there,
Yeah.
go to these types of awards, go to best places to work, best companies to work for. And if you find on that list, that company that you're thinking about doing business with or investing your money with, that's a really good sign that they really are one of the top companies to work for.
Yeah, totally. And at the end of the day, we talk about this a lot when it comes to turnkey rental property investing, passive investing.
Mm-hmm.
You buy the property one time, you deal with the team forever.
100%.
Right. So it's like, do you want to deal with the team at McDonald's, or do you want to deal with the team at In-N-Out Burger where everybody's really happy?
You know, you mentioned In-N-Out Burger
a lot.
I don't think anybody on the East Coast knows anything about In-N-Out
Chick-fil-A.
Burger.
How about that?
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
There we go. We know that.
Or
one.
Chick-fil-A.
I mean, I think I went to In-N-Out Burger one time and people did love it in like Vegas or California or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows it on the East Coast.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We have a bunch of people on the West Coast that watch the show, GC. It's
Prove me
a fact.
wrong.
It's a fact.
If you're on the East Coast, and you've been to In-N-Out Burger do they even have any locations on the East Coast?
No, I think they go as far east as Texas.
All right. Well, there we go.
Yeah. I'm not going to make this the In-N-Out Burger show, just for the record. That being said, GC said if you're looking for a great team to work with and you go to the best places to work awards kind of thing, and that's where you find them. Good news, you found the team, right? So like if you are looking for a great team to work with, go to chatwithjwb.com, book a call, get your real estate investor journey going. Also, if you want to be part of those like almost $5 million, let's get that distribution up to 5 mil a month. Let's get you a part of it. Go to chatwithjwb.com. And now the place that we are going to go to, GC.
Yes, sir.
Is we're going to magically whisk ourselves away here to 1164 Hart Road, Jacksonville, Florida, 32209. It has got a doozy of a purchase price here of $210,000.
$2,000. Holy cow. Wow. That is a doozy.
a purchase price of $210,000, a monthly rent of $1,307, getting us closer to that 5 million bucks a month. 4-bed, 2-bathroom, 1,148 square feet. Average duration of resident stay in this puppy is 4.5 years. It is a new construction that's already finished, already rented, and it has the best in-class cash flowing market annual appreciation rate that we get in Jacksonville of 4.6%. And if you buy it with JWB, you're going to earn 79% more home appreciation than the average Jacksonville investor. But GC, I want to know, what do you love about this property?
I thought you would never ask. I'm so glad you asked me. I'll tell you what I love about this property. Well, the first thing I love about this property is your internal rate of return. It's the return on investment. Right now in this marketplace, you need to be investing with your investor hat on, and you need to be thinking about what can your money earn for you. You need to be beating inflation. You need to be preserving capital. You need to not be taking additional risks to get that above average return. And so when you look at this property and earning over 13% on your money each and every year, there's just not a lot of other alternatives out there that can do that without taking a lot of risks. So that's the first thing I love about this property. Now, let me get to what you all probably love about this property, and that's the purchase price. As this is a brand new construction home. I don't think we've ever had a brand new construction home on the POT Dubs on the property of the week here at a $210,000 purchase price.
I don't think so either, man.
I mean, I didn't go back and check, so maybe somebody can go back and check. You can go to jwbinventory.com and look. But I don't think there's ever been a new construction property priced at $210,000. It's really rare to be able to have that opportunity. And so if you are somebody who wants to get into this asset class, right, and budget is a little bit of a concern, a lower price property allows you to get into this asset class with a lower out-of-pocket expense. So this might be the perfect one for you. But if you're somebody who already owns properties with JWB and you say, listen, I want to get to my 5th property, you get to your 5th property for JWB. It's called JWB Elite Program. We drop your property management fees from 10% per month to 9% per month for all of your assets. So you might be saying, I want to go from 4 to 5. You might be a new client. You coming in and you say, well, listen, I have enough capital to maybe do 4, maybe do 5. Putting this property in the mix for your portfolio with us might allow you to get that 5th property. It might allow you to just have more diversification than just one. So not just for new folks who are thinking about purchasing one because that's what their budget allows. This property could be a great addition to your portfolio if you're looking to diversify within your holdings with JWB or get to that next tier where your property management fees can drop significantly.
Yeah, man. You know, a couple of things that stick out to me here is normally when we have these lower priced homes on the POTW, they generally sell while we're on the show.
It is a bit like QVC style.
Yeah, it is kind of QVC, especially when the price dips like this, as far as like what we're showing on inventory. I've never seen one new construction. For context, my last property that I bought was a renovated property for two, and it was 225,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a sign of the price of the market going down, GC? Like, how are we able to offer a new construction home right now for 210?
Great question. No, it's not a sign of the market going down. The market is stable, just like we've been predicting it would be.
Mhm.
It's more about the size of the home.
Okay.
So your home was a lot bigger than this home.
It's true. I just realized that's 1,100 square foot.
Yeah. So this is 4 beds and 2 baths, 1,148 square feet for this home. I would imagine, I don't remember exactly your home, specifically the square footage, but your home is probably somewhere around 1,500, maybe 1,600 square feet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. The other thing that sticks out to me, GC, I just realized it, right? Remember when we did the GC versus AI show?
Right.
Remember when I put in the prompt for AI, what are the 5 zip codes with the most home price appreciation in the United States? It was this one. It was 32209 was one of them.
That's true.
According to ChatGPT, this zip code is one of the best zip codes to invest in the country, according to our robot overlords.
Well, that, and, if we sprinkle a little bit more GC context onto why, addition to ChatGPT, it's the effect of being in a neighborhood that is surrounding a downtown, a growing, revitalized downtown. We could, I don't know if you want to put it in the Google Maps or whatnot, but this house is very close to downtown Jacksonville, right? It happens to be in JWB's cash flowing neighborhoods, which guess what? They're all close to downtown Jacksonville. We put you there for a reason. But when you look at the effect of a growing downtown on the assets that are in neighborhoods surrounding that downtown, that's where you see significantly higher home price appreciation and rent price appreciation over the next market cycle. How do I know this? Because I look at what happened in Tampa. I look at what happened in Nashville. I look at what happened in some of these other markets. And so this asset, while it's been performing really well because it's in that neighborhood that we've been investing in for 17 years, and while overall Jacksonville has grown substantially, there is that timeliness, that urgency, that market opportunity of being around downtown, which this property on Hart Avenue represents.
So I got the map up, GC. Here's Jacksonville downtown. Right here is this Hart Avenue property.
Nah, it's not there.
No?
Nah, I think you put the wrong one in there.
I mean, there was like Hart Road, there was like Hart Avenue.
There's some other different ones there.
Okay. Well, what are we looking at here?
It's even closer than that mark there. But what we're looking at here is the map of Jacksonville. And what's overlaid here are all of the properties that JWB clients own. And you can start to see the neighborhoods that we put our clients in. As we've sold so many properties over the years, it gets harder and harder to see where one property starts and another one ends there. But every one of those little blue dots is a property that all of you who are JWB clients own. And so this property, you're putting it in? All right.
It was Hart Street.
There we go. So you can start to see here, right?
Oof.
Really close
Right
to downtown. I mean, listen, all of our neighborhoods there, I expect will grow because of the influence of downtown Jacksonville's growth. But I don't know if there's a property in a neighborhood for JWB that is closer than Hart Avenue or Hart Street, like we're talking about.
It looks like right on it, right? Like it looks right there. This is La Villa. This is that historically Black neighborhood, right? That where the what is
known as the Harlem of the South.
Is known as the Harlem of the South, right? The folks that were in this neighborhood went up to do the Harlem Renaissance and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like that. Yeah, absolutely.
We have an incredibly rich Black culture here in La Villa and Jacksonville, downtown Jacksonville. We haven't always done the best job of preserving that, but now there's a renaissance for preserving that, specifically in La Villa, which we are a big part of. JWB is actually doing a number of downtown developments in the La Villa area of downtown. So the downtown growth is kind of like the cherry on top that I see for this investment and really for all of the investments that we put our clients in those neighborhoods that you see on that graph.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I feel like a little sneak peek behind the curtain here, right? I'm also the person that edits all this content at the end. And I feel like it's been the last couple of weeks that we're finally really starting to talk about this downtown growth thing, the opportunity that a a city only comes online once,
Mhm.
right? Like an urban center only comes on once in a lifetime of a city.
Mhm.
And it doesn't happen every year, and it doesn't happen in every city, right? Like you have to reach a certain critical mass. And Jacksonville is right there, right? Like when we look at this downtown here, what sticks out to me is this is a downtown with a whole bunch of waterfront, right? Like it's split by a river. So it's a really aesthetically beautiful downtown with some historic elements that you just can't buy, that has really yet to be activated. And yet all of the data and all the points are pointing towards that. And what we have learned in Nashville and in Charlotte and in Austin and in Denver and in Miami and so
Tampa.
Tampa, so on and so forth, right? Tampa's 1-to-1 because it's right on the water too.
100%.
So is Miami, right? Is the idea that the moment that this stuff starts popping, the moment that you get 10,000 residents down here and the Whole Foods can go down there without any kind of like developer incentives, then all of a sudden all the millionaires, all the billionaires are throwing cash at this thing and it becomes a real rich person's game. So the way to benefit from it is to invest in properties within driving distance of it,
Mhm.
right? Like within a 10 to 15 minute driving distance of it,
Yep.
where the workforce housing is going to live, where the bartenders and waiters and school teachers and
Mhm.
nurses and, all the folks that get to work in these jobs once this thing starts popping, the demand goes way, way up.
100%. 100%.
Awesome.
And it's important to know that, right? People want to be, call it 10 to 15 minutes away from a thriving amenity, right? The thriving amenity will be Jacksonville, like the downtown will
Yeah.
become an amenity in itself. So that's why those neighborhoods, those 4 neighborhoods that we've always invested in, they're going to be in a position we see for higher than normal rent price and home price appreciation. So that's the big picture there. I wanted to just give you guys some nuggets. I've put some stats together because when we say, listen, we're in a position to be revitalized or we're in a position to pop, I look at it as it's happening. You just don't see it yet, right? It's not like we're thinking about it and we're trying to manifest this into existence.
Mhm.
Like, I think that's why some of these stats, I think, hopefully help you guys become more convinced of what's going on. Even though when you go and you drive downtown right now, you don't necessarily see a downtown that's thriving yet.
It's true.
But this is where you want to be. You want to be on the inside.
You just see a stock of beautiful old buildings that you're like, man, this is epic.
I wish this could be great.
But I wish it could be great.
Well,
Yeah.
so take a look at this. So in 2017, just 5 years ago, downtown Jacksonville overall had $719 million worth of construction under construction. $719 million. Now, I know a lot of us don't know. Is that a big number? Is that a small number? Well, I don't know if it's big or it's small, but all I know is I'm comparing that to what we are right now. Okay. So in 2017, it was 719 million. In 2022, the number of projects that are physically right now being constructed, like money is being spent, like stuff is moving,
Mhm.
$4 billion. In 5 years, you've gone from 719 million
Yeah.
to 4 billion. So some other things that you might not know about downtown Jacksonville. In 2017, we had 4,800 people living in downtown Jacksonville. In 5 years, that number is up to 7,500. Does that sound like that's a downtown that is actually being revitalized right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so there's so much data here that even people who are driving around downtown Jacksonville right now don't know, right? But I want you all to know it.
I really need to get that calculation going because I think it's closer to like 6x. Just FYI.
It is.
That
probably is.
That being said, you mentioned it, right? Like where else have you seen something like that? I saw that in like 2008 Miami.
Yeah.
Right? Like nobody was living in downtown Miami, right? Like
Yeah.
there was nothing, we're talking about the heat right now, right? The arena's downtown. You take the metro rail in, there was nothing happening for the majority of my life.
Mhm.
Somewhere between 2004 and 2009, stuff started happening. Then the recession hit, right? And it was like empty. And then from like 2009 to 2015, it just densified. We started hearing stats like we're going to be the most dense urban center south of Manhattan. All these things that you're like, I don't believe this. That's nuts. So how are you going to? There's like 4 skyscrapers. Like if you go see Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2, and you see like it goes from like 2 skyscrapers to like 6 skyscrapers. We were at Bad Boys 2's time, and we're like the most dense since like Manhattan. That's nuts. You're crazy.
Right.
You drive into Miami right now, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like it's just like metropolis of high rises and and all that stuff, because you started seeing the cranes, you started seeing the construction. And nowadays you just can't, you got to be really wealthy to buy anything anywhere within a 30-minute drive of downtown Miami.
Yep.
Is an astronomical cost. And when we were in Miami at that time, I didn't know this game, right? Like I thought that I had to invest in a house and I had to go like remodel it myself. I had to go be the plumber and whatever I got to do. To me, the fascinating thing is that it is that same level of growth with a company who is best places to work in Florida that manages the thing for you so that you can jump in for 200 grand and change.
Yeah.
Like that's just a completely different equation than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah. That's where the risk mitigation comes into play. Like normally, if you want to jump on and take advantage of a growing downtown, you got to have a lot of cash, and it's going to be a jungle to get to the point where you make really great returns because there's a lot of variability. Investing in those neighborhoods, which we've been investing in for 17 years, allows you to not have to take on that additional risk. You just get the upside of when the appreciation on the rents and the home prices tends to come because of the growing revitalization.
I did 400 divided by 70, which should be about the same calculation.
You're right. You're
5.7x.
You're right. You're right.
Yes.
But
Right.
you said 8x first, and then my numbers.
Go to the tape. Go to the tape. All right, here we go. We got a question. We got a question from Dean Curry over here in the Q&A. Since the property of the week is already rented through 2026, does the buyer still pay the tenant placement fee?
Answer is yes. The buyer still pays the tenant placement fee, even if the house is rented before you buy it.
Okay, there you go. We are gonna pop something in live here, GC, and really test you. Leo Faraganan.
Right. No.
Faraganan says,
Dun-dun-dun.
my friend forwarded me this article. 7 Florida cities that could be headed for a housing crisis. Jacksonville is number 5 on this list. Homeowner vacancy rate is 2%. And percentage of mortgage delinquent 90 days is 0.6% per article. I always tell them that I believe in Jax and its growth. I asked them to come and listen to the show and ask questions, but what is your take on this one? Maybe we should come to Jacksonville soon if work allows us.
Love this, Leo. Thank you so much for asking this question, for giving us stuff to think about here, and for inviting your friend to be a part of this. I think this, are you showing the article?
No,
right
I'm
now?
not showing that.
Okay.
I'm trying to find it.
I love this example, okay? Because I think this is a great example of the media using some data, putting a nifty headline on there and getting a bunch of eyeballs, which helps them sell advertising space, okay? Right? Because if you actually think about what the data they're presenting, I'm sure it's correct. Like, let's just assume that it's correct.
This is the data right here. Yep.
But without perspective, you would be leading yourself to believe one thing. When you add in perspective here, you might go down a different route. So here's my question, and I haven't fully read through the article, but the first things that I see are homeowner vacancy rate of 2%. And then I see percentage of mortgages delinquent 90 days. Okay. So let's focus on the percentage of mortgages delinquent 90 days. I'm assuming what this article is saying is that if you see a spike in the percentage of delinquent mortgages, that would lead to a market crashing, because you would have more foreclosures and all of that stuff. Like, I'm assuming that's where it's going, right? Guys, I don't know this as an actual stat, but I think you all agree with me. I can't think of a time in history where there's been more equity built up in homes that people own. Can we all agree, like, at least in recent history?
Explain why that's a thing. Or explain what you're talking about, right? Like if I'm showing up, I'm like, equity in homes built in, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Real estate guy says something.
Yeah. So, with home prices going up 15 to 25% over the last 2 years. So each year, so call it 40% from 2 years ago, right? That means that additional 40% of growth has brought a lot of equity into homeowners' net worth, into the home that they own, or into their investment properties, like all of our clients that own homes here, right? Y'all did really well. Yeah. And, and the highest form of that growth has been in equity.
Yeah. So if I'm somebody that has owned my home, I live in Jacksonville, and I bought a home, let's say for $150,000 5 years ago, right? Like 5-6 years ago, that's a reasonable thing that you could have done back then.
Sure.
Yeah. In one of our neighborhoods, right? So you bought a home there for $150,000. Over the last 5 years, over the last 2 years, it's gone up probably about like 20-30%.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm just using the 40% number over
Yeah.
2 years, like 15 to 25% is what it's done each year for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So call it 40% over 2 years.
So over the last 2 years, it's gone up 40%, which let's call that, oh man,
So I don't know. You chose 150,000. That's
I know.
so 40.
Unfair.
So it's gone up 60 grand.
60 G's, 60
Yeah.
G's over the last 2 years.
Right.
And then let's say I bought it 5 years ago. Let's say it's pretty fair that house that was 150 grand is probably worth like 215 grand, 210 grand.
Sure.
Conservatively.
Sounds about right.
For me to default on my mortgage, I would be walking away from $65,000 that I have there in a pot. For me to like default on my mortgage, go to foreclosure versus just saying, you know what, I'm not going to default on my mortgage. I'm going to sell this
it.
retail.
Yeah.
I'm going to sell this retail and make 75 G's.
Yeah.
Or if I'm really hard up, I can go sell it to a wholesaler and make 35 G's tomorrow if I really wanted to, 40 G's, something like that.
Let's focus on the first solution now,
Right.
because the second solution might actually lead you to believe that housing prices are going to come down.
Okay.
Right. Because if everybody did the second solution there and just
Yeah.
sold it for 40 grand less than market value, then
Yeah,
everybody.
but you wouldn't be selling that at retail. You'd be selling that to like an investor that's flipping it to somebody that's then going to sell it for 225.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. But I just want to take this argument and just completely
Yeah.
obliterate it.
Okay. Go.
So like, you know, in order to have a market crash, like what happened in the Great Recession, you have to have a flood of motivated sellers that have to sell at a huge discount. And it has to happen in a short period of time.
Yeah.
And, you know, the greatest indicator of that is the number of foreclosures. So if you go back and you look at what actually happened in 2008, I know this because I had my money in place in 2008, 40% of sales at that time were foreclosures. Like 4 out of every 10 houses selling were foreclosures.
Yeah.
The normal rate is about 10%. Like a normal market rates, call it about 10% of all homes is foreclosures, right? So to have it be 40%, I mean, that was just unbelievable.
Mhm.
And that is why the market crashed so much. That's how you saw housing prices drop like they did. You didn't have the type of equity built up at that time in homes as well. So it's not like those homeowners had the opportunity to say, oh, you know what? I could just sell this house
Mhm.
and avoid the foreclosure. If they could have, they would have. Nobody wants to, right? Nobody wants to get a foreclosure.
They didn't
So
have equity built up and they bought it with like 0% down mortgages. So
that's why they didn't have the equity.
yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So today's day and age, you have way more equity built up in these homes, courtesy of this 40% appreciation over the last 2 years. We didn't have funny loans that were going on,
Mhm.
right? People had to put down 20%, 25%. Even first-time home buyers still had to put down 3.5%. There weren't these liar loans at 0% down. That was all the rage in 2005 and 2006,
Mhm.
2007. So now people have built up equity. And so that is going to be the greatest thing to save a foreclosure crisis. It's the fact that why on earth, if somebody has all this built up equity, even if they lose their job and they can't afford the payment anymore, why on earth would they let it go to foreclosure?
Yeah. Yeah.
You are going to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I mean, houses are still, I mean, days on market for houses right now in Jacksonville are like 30.
Yeah.
So like you have like a year to figure out your foreclosure problem, you know, before they actually foreclose on you.
Yeah.
So like, why on earth wouldn't people actually sell it, take the money that they've earned in equity?
Mhm.
And, you know, and so that's why if you don't have that perspective, you can just see the delinquency rate and you're saying, oh, well, that's going to lead to foreclosures. You're missing the big picture. Even if people are late on their mortgage, they're going to sell it rather than let it go to foreclosure because they have that opportunity now, whereas they didn't in the past. And then, oh, by the way, I don't know what the normal delinquency rate is, but 0.6%, I'm guessing that's not really that high. Okay. What they're probably saying is it's like double what it was a year ago or 2 years ago. And guess what? There was a foreclosure moratorium 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that they're missing that perspective as well. But I think the article's wrong. And I think it's lacking perspective, which is what a lot of articles have as far as missing perspective right now.
First of all, I want to compliment you because you have a tough time telling people that they're wrong. And you just went straight up, article's wrong, they're stupid.
No, I didn't do that. So the article's wrong. The person's probably really smart that wrote the article. They just lack perspective.
See, this is the guy. He's too nice. That being said, It is data without perspective we talk about all the time, right? And the other thing that we talk about all the time is incentivization, right? We talk about how the JWB business model is vertically integrated because it aligns your incentives as JWB with the investors' incentives, right? Like you own and operate properties right next to people. Construction, it's a smaller new construction home, right? Which allows people to get in. If you want to get in, I wouldn't be surprised if the phone's already ringing, but you go to chatwithjwb.com if you want to ask about this property.
Is that like a QVC like type of reference there? Like the phone's already ringing, like off the hook? Should we bring in like a fake phone here? It's like have it ring right now.
Yeah, or you can shoot Madison an email, madison@jwbcompanies.com. The other thing I want to talk to you about, right? So we talk about this whole like chatwithjwb.com, you know, if you want to find out about this property. What do people, when they go to chatwithjwb.com, book a call? On that first call with the team, what is that usually like? Is that usually a property related thing, or people calling with like, hey, my neighbor sent me an article? What's that experience like?
It can be any number of those things. You know, sometimes like example of, I mean, we love when clients call in, specifically those who are on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super fun to be able to kind of connect the dots and start that conversation as a client. My sales team, we love it when folks who come from the show reach out. So when that happens, usually if it's from a property of the week and there's more of a property specific question, we can talk through that property, but we quickly get back to goals and resources because we deeply believe in setting up a great long-term relationship with you. And we don't want to just sell you one property. We want to make sure that the property that will be sold to you fits in with the bigger picture, which is understanding what your goals are, understanding what your resources are, understanding where your capital is, right? The capital that you may have in real estate right now, but as important is the capital that you have in stocks and bonds and gold and crypto. And why are you keeping it there? Right? We want to understand your motivations for keeping it there. That allows us to build the right plan for you. And we put the plan together. It's usually over a couple of phone calls. And at that point, once we build the plan together with the client, it's an interactive thing. We get to work together on it. Then we leave there and we say, okay, we know what we're going to accomplish. We know how much capital is coming into this plan. We know how many properties that will equate to in your portfolio. And then we simply fill the portfolio with those assets. And this house on Hart could be one of those assets for the client. We could also look at it and say, you know what, you think that Hart is the right asset for you, but based on your overall plan and your overall portfolio, I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of things that could change, right? There could be where your capital is coming from. Is it a retirement account? Is it not? Is this the right asset for you? So at the end of the day, all of our assets are very similar, right? They all fit into a really small box of returns. They fit into a small window of purchase prices, which affects your capital investment for us. And they fit into a very small box as far as the neighborhoods. And they're all in Jacksonville. They're all in those 4 neighborhoods. And so if you love this house on Hart Road, you're going to love the other assets that we have in the portfolio as well. And so, at the end of the day, we want to build that plan. We want to fill it with the right assets. And that journey usually takes, a few phone calls to make sure we do it the right way.
Got it. I love what's happening in the chat right now. First of all, so Nadim's doing the math here. He says, so like about 60K buys you this property. That's putting 25% down, right? So for 60K, you can get in on this, put one of these things in your portfolio. I love that you've widgetized rental property investing. There's also Drew and Matthew are talking about. So Drew just moved into Daytona in one of the Margaritaville kind of like developments. Matthew bought one in North Carolina, a Margaritaville development. They're just like comparing models of homes that they've done here.
Love it.
Very, very, very cool. One of the things that I learned from putting together the class with you is this idea, and quite frankly, from this community, right? Like from this community, I've learned the idea that just like building a network, you want to build it before you need it. And the idea that JWB just has a book a call, chatwithjwb.com to just kind of like start poking around in the real estate world and ask an expert a question, right? Like a hotline kind of thing is a great idea. Like I honestly wish that when I was in 2014, 2015, and I didn't know much about real estate, somebody was just like, dude, you can go to this website, you can book a call, you can ask you're in Miami and you're thinking about buying property or holding on to it, or, should you go buy your own home or save this money for an investment, or does it make sense? I wish that I had that hotline to just kind of like have that conversation, get it started, start building my network of, if one day I want to grow up to be a real estate investor, hop on that call. I just think that part of the class that we taught at NYAIclass.com of the class that we taught was really valuable as like a reason to just like, man, might as well just call in, verify the beliefs that I have, debunk any kind of thing that's holding me back from thinking that I might be able to be a real estate investor before Jacksonville downtown blows up and it's too expensive for me.
Right.
I don't know. Just thought that was inside the show.
And I think that's really critical. If you're somebody who is thinking about this and as a part of your due diligence, it should be a phone call with my team. Right. We get to manage over $800 million in real estate for clients, just like many of whom are on the call right now. So like when you get the opportunity to talk to my team who literally lives and breathes that every single day, right? We get to send out $4.5 million in rental income every single month. Like there's so much knowledge and experience here. You just get on the phone and tell us what your goals are. And then we can say, okay, listen, you might be a year away. You might be 6 months away. Sometimes what happens is you might be 6 months away in your mind. You sit down, we get to talk to you and we say, well, where's all of your retirement account money? Where's that right now? And you say, well, you know what? It's in an IRA, but it's in the stock market. I didn't think I could put that into real estate. We might be able to unlock that capital for you and show you how you can put that into your real estate portfolio. And you don't have to pay early withdrawal penalties or fees, and you don't have to pay the tax burden on that. So we might be able to unlock capital and actually shorten that time frame that you thought was 6 months to a couple of weeks, and we're rocking and rolling. So I would absolutely encourage anybody who is either thinking about doing this at some point over the next 6 months or a year to jump on the phone with us and just talk about that for your benefit as well as ours. And you might walk away from that conversation thinking that you're closer than you originally thought.
That's cool. Actually, they didn't put their name in here. They must have clicked in from the text that says not your average guest, but they had just put in the chat. Best thing we did was change our IRA to a self-directed IRA and buy a JWB house. So
Love it. Thank you so much.
Right on time there. So that being said, again, chat with JWB.com if you want to hop on there and get into that conversation, maybe shorten that time cycle of what you're thinking, because you're a bunch of financial engineers out here. GC, good show, buddy.
Love it, man.
Yeah,
This is
man.
fun.
Yeah, this was fun. Again, next week we got a pretty interesting show.
We have an esteemed guest.
It was so interesting that you delayed a trip to the Bahamas because you had to be a part of the show. GC,
I wasn't gonna miss it.
Why'd you delay it?
This is your spotlight, baby.
Yeah.
You know, we get to spotlight a lot of our clients. Now it's the time for Pablo spotlight, baby.
Yeah. So as you all know, I've purchased 3 properties in the last year and a half, and 2 of the properties were really this idea of preserve capital and turn equities into income. And we're going to illustrate that example because it was not a average decision that I made, right? Like I had plenty of people telling me that that's kind of crazy, including my financial advisor telling me not to do this. And I think that I've made a really good decision, but GC is going to dive into the numbers and we're going to really, really discuss that. So next week, we're talking about that stuff. I want to encourage you right now to go to NYAIclass.com if you haven't done it. Horace Allen, new name, says good stuff. Glad I joined.
I was just talking with Horace before the call here, so I'm so glad you joined, Horace.
Love it, love it, love it. Horace, welcome to the community, man. We do this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's a lot of fun. As you can see, people are friends here. Make yourself a new friend. But anyways, if you want to just get to like the nuts and bolts of the asset class, so that you have the right questions to ask, whether it's at chatwithjwb.com or any other people that you're dealing with, go take the class at NYAIclass.com. We really want your feedback. We made it free for the first 30 days because what we want is feedback, right? Just let us know how we can make it better, what was confusing, what really stuck out to you, what made you snort milk out of your nose because you're giggling, because it is funny. We do have a good time on there like we do on the show. So you go to NYAIclass.com. When it goes to the promo code, you put in NYAI guide free and it should zero it out. If you by mistake pay for it in the first 30 days, you will get a refund, but we rather you put in the coupon code in there. But go check that out and let us know what you think. I want to thank the community. We had almost 50 people here today, middle of the workday. You know, like it just never goes unnoticed to me that our community spends an hour in the middle of a workday hanging out with us. We're getting like 50 to 70 people per show. And you ask the great questions, you bring the great content, you make it easy for us to do this, and we're all friends out of it. So it's pretty awesome to see.
I love it. I love it. And I just wanted to put a little bit of, oh goodness, I wanted to tell the URL for feedback as well on the class. Hey, Madison, does everybody get access to that URL now? Yeah. Okay. So we're just dying for feedback. That's the reason why we're making this free for all of you in the community here. So if you go to jwbrealestate.com/feedback, that's where you can leave the feedback that you have from taking part in the class. So big thank you in advance for everybody. You guys have been reaching out by email and over the chat here, telling us some good things that we're doing and some of the things that we probably can improve. Yeah. And we just really, really are taking that all to heart. So thank you guys for that.
And Miguel says, holy crap, it's only free for 30 days. I just had the chance to check it out. Just registered this week. You just got to register and you have it free forever.
Yes, that's true.
Right. It's not like open, close window.
No.
If you register in the next 30 days, the class is free to you and you have it. It's not that you have to get through it in the next 30 days, but it's under 2 hours, right? So you can knock it out on a Saturday morning if you want to up your real estate investing game. I hope to see you all next Tuesday so that we get to dive into my portfolio here while GC breaks it down. And I just highly, highly recommend that whatever you do out there, if you're having a good weekend, cheer for the Heat, and whatever you do, don't be average.